Hi, friends. This is Pej with Pej Interventions. I'm an interventionist and a family recovery coach and personal recovery coach. I wanted to talk today about who needs an intervention done on them, who qualifies to be intervened on. You know, it's amazing like how many different types of people I'm asked to intervene on. I believe anybody that has any kind of substance problem or mental health that gets out of control problem definitely needs to be intervened on so that their quality of life can change, their environment can change, who they are and who they think they are can change. So, I personally, I've been doing interventions for almost a decade and a half, and I get a lot of different types of people that are calling me about situational stuff. A lot of times, a lot of the meth cases come my way by other colleagues because they know I understand meth very well. And I meet people where they're at all the time, and I have a certain way of trying to get through to meth user because most people don't understand them, or a lot of people know that I will work on a case for a while until I try to get the person the help that they need, at least where I can convince them your life's not working. Doesn't always happen on the first try, but I will do work on a contractual basis. Alcoholics, person that's an alcoholic, person that has alcoholism. It's the easiest substance to be able to get away with using because it's totally legal. It's accessible. You can do it in many different places. You can do it at work events. You could do it in the comfort of your own home. There are so many different types of drinkers. But when alcohol could become a problem for somebody in their life, well, then, if it starts to cause problems within the familial system or within the workplace, or even to the point where you're out on the road drinking and driving and possibly have run-ins with the law, catch a case, get a DUI, a 502, and continue to keep drinking, like that person should be intervened on. Homeless people that are out there that may be in full-blown psychosis or have acclimated to the homeless life. I do believe that that's not what they were intended to. They weren't destined to go out and be homeless on the streets. Some things happen there. So I believe that even they can be intervened on and possibly change their lives. I've seen so many turnaround stories to the point where a person may not completely be suffering as a homeless person, but once they start getting sick and tired of being sick and tired and living that certain lifestyle, or even not even knowing that they're sick and tired yet, often I've been asked to go on the streets and look for people and intervene on them. And it's not an easy job. Sometimes I have to go into full detective mode and find the person and then make myself available to the person, acquaint myself to the person in various ways, and then try to get into the person's life and build enough rapport to be able to make them understand that this is not the way to live. And then there's fentanyl addicts, opiate addicts, anybody that is stuck on opiates, anybody that is abusing opiates absolutely needs to be intervened on. Immediately. Time is of the essence. Their life is on the line. This is not a joking matter. And the reason that, I know there are less dangerous opiates that are out there, such as prescription pills, but unfortunately, these days when people will abuse their prescription pills, they'll start seeking other types of pills that look like prescription pills, sometimes even online, or if they get cut off by their doctor, then suddenly they resort to using things like heroin and fentanyl and things like that, which then the full-blown addiction is in full effect, and now at this point it can be fatal, lethal, deadly. And then there's also benzodiazepine. Example, Xanax addiction. A lot of people are trying to take the edge off by using Xanax for their anxiety, but then they'll start abusing Xanax. And those two also, if people start seeking those out, they might get the wrong stuff, the fake stuff. Next thing they know, they thought they were trying to relieve their anxiety, but they're buying trust pills that have fentanyl in them, or even driving them crazy. We've seen that a lot with Xanax abuse or with benzodiazepine abuse. So teenagers, a lot of teenagers are in an experimental phase, and why not prevent? Why not put some preventative measures in their life by trying to get in front of it before it gets serious? Let's prevent them from having an experimental phase turn into full-blown addiction. So I think anybody and everybody that has an issue with addiction, with alcoholism, or if their mental health is not under control, should be intervened on. But countless times I get phone calls from lots of people whose loved one hasn't used substances in a long time, but they have high acuity, extreme, severe mental health, and maybe their medications were off, or maybe they went out and smoked some weed or got their hands on some meth, and the next thing you know, during their come down or when they're in full-blown psychosis, they threaten their family's lives, their parents' life. I hear that a lot. That happens a lot, to the point where they have a unit come out and assess them and then stabilize them in a hospital. So A lot of times I get phone calls to try to intervene on cases like that. As an interventionist, my job is not easy, but I love what I do. I go all over this country, sometimes globally, to be able to try to help people, friends or families of loved ones, help their loved one get the help that they need. I first work with the families. I first work with the friend circle or just the person who is worried about their loved one. And then we work on how we can help them. I'm also part of Intervention on Call. You should try we have 5 days a week, these family peer groups that we do. You can go on www.interventiononcall.com. You sign up, you can get the free Zoom links. And then some people like to do private sessions with whichever provider's on there. It's a group of us, a bunch of interventionists that are also family coaches, and they can book sessions with us on the website. And those are $150, and it'll be more specific to your needs. And also you can look me up on www.pejinterventions.com. And obviously I'm all over social media too, just trying to save lives. That's what we're doing. If you would be so kind as to subscribe to this channel, Pej Interventions, and share and like and comment, I would forever be grateful to you. Thank you.